Let's just talk about the comparative wages. CIFSA and these guys and the NUMSA is hell-bent on extending their agreement to other parties, non-parties. Now, I recall years ago when the previous CEO of CIFSA stood up at the beginning of negotiations and he said, this industry is an industry in decline. And everybody recognizes the fact it is because of the wage situation. And yet, they are hell-bent in extending this thing. But let's not talk about that. Just compare the wages. The entry-level wage in the steel industry is what?
So entry-level wage is around 56, 57 Rand per hour, just the wage for an entry-level unskilled employee at grade H. To that you need to add approximately 40% on costs in respect of pension and provident fund and admin levies and leave enhancement pay and all those other statutory payments. So a cost to company wage, if you do that calculation, is around about 78 Rand per hour for an entry-level unskilled employee, which is simply a barrier to entry for employees, and it's a barrier for employers to even start a new business in this sector. You simply can't afford to at those wage rates.
So what it means, and we're going to talk about the exemptions. What it means, if employers wants to start a new business, employ somebody, that's the wage. And that's what you have to pay, and then you need to apply for an exemption. I mean, we're not going to discuss the exemptions now, and if you live in that uncertain environment, let's see what happens with the exemption. Now, the second most expensive industry is the motor or truck transport, the transport industry. What is their wages?
So road transport is around about 37 Rand an hour. That's just the wage. It's not a cost to company wage.
That's about 60%.
That's about 60%
of the steel industry. And then the third one, if understanding is correct, that's the motor industry.
Yes, and that's about 26, 27 Rand an hour for an unskilled employee.
That's half, perhaps just less than half. So what these guys are obviously the worst negotiators in the world. I mean, if there was a competition, they would have won that. And yet, they make that terrible negotiating abilities. They now enforce on others who opt not to be subjected to that.